Hello, hello. Okay, we are getting coordinated here. Oh gosh, this isn't going. Go live. I am trying to. Okay, I'm seeing if this is working. I had a glitch with Instagram last week, and I have no idea if it's happening on Instagram or not. I have a feeling it's not because I try to hit that go live button on hi, Tanya and Sydney. I'm just explaining what's going on here on this end. I'm trying to go live on Instagram, but it was not letting me go live. So I have no idea if I'm on Instagram or not. And I had a friend who was going to check that for me. I have a feeling, I have no idea. With puppies, Tanya with puppies and Sydney with kitties. So we've got everything here. we, we got the whole gang here. Um, Gosh, sorry, Instagram. I don't think I'm streaming live on Instagram, and if somebody is connected to Caroline, if you can send her a message. She was going to check for me on that, and just checked. You aren't live. Oh, I tried to hit the go live thing, and it wasn't doing a damn thing. So I can't switch over. Thanks for checking that, Sydney. I can't put in the stream in the middle. So I don't know if I can. No, because I have to add in all the video details. Okay, so we'll give it another try next week. Sorry about that, Instagram. Asta, hey, Asta made it. Okay, yeah, and I did send out a message to everybody on Instagram saying, in case I don't show up over there, come over to YouTube. We'll try again, because if it works, then I can actually do both platforms via Restream instead of having Instagram on my phone. So Caroline sent me a message. Yes, so come on over to Instagram, to YouTube, everybody. All right, so here we are. Life goes on, right? This is life. So let's take a nice deep breath into that and just like hold it, and then just let it out with a big whew. So it goes. But we've got people here, so that's good. That's fine. And we'll try again next time. And part of the technical thing is that I can't program Instagram until the afternoon before I go on, kind of thing. So so as we settle in, boy, it's been an interesting week. There's always lots of interesting stuff going on, and as we keep moving forward, lots of changes. And there's just those times where it doesn't feel like we're getting anywhere, maybe. We just kind of keep moving, and you got to remind yourself that where you've been, where you've, what you, it's like, no, I know we're progressing. I know I'm moving along because I was here before and now I'm here. Even when the surface doesn't register that for us or show that. And there's always challenges as we keep moving up. There's always challenges for us, and it's sort of like, just, are you sure you want to move forward? Are you sure you want to step into more? It's sort of like getting that question. So it's up to you to say yes and push through. Sometimes we're going to have to push through. Sometimes it's just like, oh, we just kind of ease through. But oftentimes we need to push through, because it's about becoming stronger in ourselves and holding ourselves more steady with greater coherence in our system. That's up to us. Nobody else can do that for us. So let's take a nice deep breath into that and just see where you are right now relative to that peace, coherence. How does it feel? See if you can have a sense of how you would rate yourself. I don't know, a scale of 1 to 100 or 1 to 10, 10 being top level coherence, 100%. Nothing could like peek in or shift or sneak in anywhere. And 0 or even -0. Sometimes we often start below ground. So 0 being ground level, but very often people actually start below ground for a lot of reasons, and it's not because they're really messed up. I mean, in some ways they are. You could say they are, but it's not like they're really negative, dark people. It's that they're carrying a lot of stuff. Maybe they're carrying everybody else's baggage, for example, and have those habits where it just keeps piling up on them, kind of thing. So those people are not too bad. I think the average it is popping up is about 3 for the group. And that's not a bad thing. That's not bad. 0 to 3, yeah. And there might be some days where we have greater coherence and some days where we have less. So let's take a deep breath into that. Really come into, as you exhale, just coming into your physical body more. Becoming more aware of that physical form of your body in space. And we're just going to slow everything down again. Maybe not quite as slow as last week. Wow. Yeah. So that first take on coherence was maybe coming a little bit from that place of where we want to be. And that's important to recognize that. And it's okay to want to be where we're not. But we need to be really clear on, this is where I want to be, but where am I really? And there's a key piece with getting those answers, those kind of answers, is first we have to have the desire to want to know. Not about that specific thing, but just in general, wanting to know. You have to have the desire to want to know. Sit with that for a minute, because it sounds kind of, well, if I want to know, don't I have the desire? No, you can say you want to know, but you really don't want to. The desire isn't there. And so what the desire does is that it drives you to really look for that knowing, to really know it for yourself. And when you really want to know it for yourself, you don't give a damn about what the answer is. You just want the truth. You just want to know what it is. Not to feel good, but to really know the truth. So settling in. So now what's coming up is that there's this deeper sense of where earlier is what was basically where I want to be, and now it's getting into, well, this is where I really am. So maybe the numbers dropped a little bit. That is perfectly fine. Because until you know exactly where you are now in this moment, you can't move forward. No matter what you do, you will not be able to move forward. You will always be anchored back at that point, because it's like you're ignoring that. It's like you've got this pinned, I'm here. like on Google Maps or whatever. You've got that pin on that location, and you keep going. It's like, no, I'm over here, but I'm over here, but I'm over here. It keeps stretching and stretching. There's that rubber band that's getting stretched. I don't know if you can feel that, but here's the pin. It's pinning you down. This is where you are. This is where you are. But you're going, no, no, I'm over here. I'm over here. Boom, until you come. And what happens, so you go stretch that rubber bands and go bing past where you really are. So that actually pulls you further back than where you are. So when you can really let yourself come into, this is where I am right here, right now. Feels like shit, maybe, often, whatever. We want to run away from a lot of stuff. We don't want to feel a lot of stuff. Lots of stuff, lots. Could go on and list it on. I could spend the whole time listing on all these things, but it's whatever it is that's coming up in this moment when you slow down and you are in this moment. And then we start to open up. So taking a deep breath on where we are, as a group, but also individually, where you are right now, right here, right now. Let's just let ourselves sink into that. Maybe you've been having to fight with somebody, discussing, argument. Maybe you're wanting to know what to do next. So trying to jump ahead, move forward, and jumping ahead means literally moving out of time to a time ahead of now. Or maybe you're like in the past because you're caught up in some discussion you were having. Oh God, I should have said that, but I didn't say that, but they said that. That's pulling you backwards. So getting to that pin right here, right now, that pin. And if you feel your energy, you might notice that as you sink into the here and now, into your physical body, where your physical body is residing in this moment, that you kind of feel like this movement. You might feel it from backwards if you're really like back in time a lot, or maybe even just a little. You might find yourself just kind of like coming forward. So if you're always running ahead of yourself, then you're probably going to sink backwards, and then down. Yeah. There's a little squirming going on, especially in that part for some people. Like these head identities that we have, yeah? It's like, but I don't want to be here. Taking a deep breath into that part, if that's coming up for you. Sinking down. Letting yourself sink below that. You might have this layer up here. It's like, okay, yeah, there's that layer up there, but I'm down here. It's here, but I'm here. So it might feel like it's right here, but you're right here. Like you're on this side of here, not that side. Paper thin, even thinner, but it makes a whole difference. Feeling, you can put, if you have that top layer, some of you do, so if you're noticing that, putting your hand on here, it's like, no, there's my hand on the top of my head. This is the top of my head. Notice that those worms squiggling around up here, and just like, no, that's not me. That's definitely not me. There's something else going on there, but that is not me. Coming into your head more deeply, letting yourself sink down. So this is me. Feeling the top of your head. This is me. To help create that separation for you. Yeah. So let's lift up that ceiling a little bit on everybody so that there's a little more separation for you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. And then you might find another layer that's underneath that. Maybe it's loneliness. Maybe it's sadness. Maybe it's emptiness. So let yourself sink into that one. Because this is the new near and now, here and now. You know, a minute ago, the here and now was okay, let's drop down a little bit further, because part of that here and now that I'm feeling is actually connected in little strings going off from that into future, past, whatever, all directions, other spaces, other times. So the new here and now is that layer below that. Breathing into that, letting yourself feel whatever that next layer is. Maybe it's relief too, you know, that could be, oh God, finally. Maybe it's quiet, calm. You know, we think we like quiet, things like quiet and calm, but if you come from a place where before abuse happened, any kind of abuse, you know, like maybe hit or attacked or whatever, explosion, whatever, there's this calmness and this quiet that, like before it happens, quiet and calm might not seem very, very comfortable at all, because all of a sudden you're in that place. It's like, oh, I know what's next. Next is going to be that abuse, whatever, this action, and I don't want to go there. And so we like to think. I mean, it seems logical that, you know, get quiet, calm. It feels good. It feels great. It feels relaxed. But it's like, no, actually, it's triggering anxiety because of the potential of what's going to happen next, because of what's happened before in the past. Hope this is making sense for you guys. If it's not, you know, feel free to say, I don't get this. Yeah, so allowing ourselves to sit in that second layer, that current here now. Sitting in something like this is helping to unwind the automation, the automatic programming. Yeah, good. Makes a lot of sense for me. Yeah, good. It's sort of like the clock ticking, you know, and so I'm going to go with that silence and that calm, that stillness before a dreadful event kind of thing. As you sit there and nothing happens, your nervous system gets to recalibrate. It's like, oh, you get to the edge of when you're expecting something to happen, then it doesn't happen. It's like, oh, okay. So the nervous system goes, whoa, okay, whew, nothing happened. All right, we can hold a little longer. And then there's another extension of that. So the unwinding. Yeah, a lot of you are actually taking advantage of that, the unwinding here. Really good. And then it starts to get a little edgy. So it's that edge is starting to come up for people. And just notice that. You might already be there. You might not be there quite yet with the unwinding. Just breathe into it. You feel that edgy. So a little bit nervousness, a little bit of twitching, a little bit of needing to move your mind, kind of a bit that's starting bleeping away about something. Just kind of breathe into that. Something good will be next. So Tanya, very good question. So that's exactly what I was talking about. So her question is the abuse the reason why I have a hard time sitting in silence, as I would expect something not good will be next? What's your answer? I think you know the answer to that. So what's your answer for yourself? So that edginess comes up. Just kind of breathe into that, because you're now you're you here now, which is on the edge of that. Ooh, and your nervous system is like kind of starting to freak out and starting to send the signals. It's like, we got to do something. We got to move. We can't stay here. And then it's like, breathe deep breath into that. Ah. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, nothing happened. Okay, we can be okay here. So just expand it a little bit here. Yes, you're right on target, Tony. Tanya, sorry. And you know, guys, it doesn't have to be really severe abuse. If you that happened to you like when you're a kid, it can be simply you live in a household where one of the parents has like constant anxiety, for example. And so there's always kind of that edge there, because they might all of a sudden kind of fall apart, break, or something. So it's not that you're necessarily getting direct hit, but you know, if your parent, so the anxiety, for example, the parent, and all of a sudden they just have kind of this nervous breakdown. They're not attacking anybody, but all of a sudden there's this something's happening, that, you know, the household is falling apart, because that's what it's going to feel like when you're young. So that's that edginess, yeah. So that is a form of abuse, but when we use the word abuse, we tend to not think of it as that. We think of, like, you know, getting hit or sexual abuse or being railed into, you know, that kind of thing. But abuse is anything that kind of takes you off your disconnects you from yourself in any way. Yeah. You guys are doing really good with this. Very, very good. You're all holding pretty well, even if you're feeling edgy, even if you're kind of like going all over the place, even if it feels that way to you. There's steadiness deeper in. So, whew. I'm going to drop you all into the core of the earth. Yeah, so allowing yourself to just drop down. Yeah, and so Tanya, that's kind of a continuation of the conversation we were having the other day, about always kind of running ahead of yourself. So this isn't relative to Tanya, but an example of that. When we're always trying to get away from something, get away from something, get away from something. So to make it really clear for everybody here about this running away, and sometimes we don't even realize we're doing it, but we're always kind of looking ahead, looking to get ahead. And even in terms of awakening, that's still going to show up. People wanting to get to the top level so that they can be just done with it and not have to deal with anything below. But here's what this is the same too. So, we've seen these scenes in movies, and where you see the woman's been raped or something, and then they show her in the shower, and she's just trying to like scrub herself clean, just to keep scrubbing and scrubbing, washing away to just try to get to that clean place. That's the same thing as running ahead of ourselves and wanting to get to the top level. That's exactly what we're doing. Is we're trying to come clean so we can just get away from that piece, and just get away what happened and kind of forget about it, just move on. Had someone recently tell me to reframe, get out, to move onward. Yeah, sometimes that can help. Sometimes that's a way of avoiding. But so you have to just watch that inside reaction. But if it helps to reframe it, that's great. But just double check to make sure that it's not another way of trying to get away from it. Anything we do. So this brings up a good point. I mean, it sounds logical, and I think we've all kind of had that experience of the reframing, and it's like, oh yeah, wow, that really frees me up. Yeah, that feels so much better. Okay, so that's an example of a positive thing, but we still have to be really careful with those pieces, because deep down inside, if there's that part of you, so in that example of get out or move onward, you've got that part that is still feeling like caged in. You got to get out of that cage. If it still is that, there's that part of you. And if it's only 1% of you, I don't care if it's 1%, because that 1% will hold you back. That needs to feel like they have gotten out. Then if you say move onward, it's not going to do a damn thing. Because if you're in a cage, in a prison, move onward. Well, move onward to where? I'm like surrounded on all sides. So moving onward, you're just moving onward to, that other side of the cell or this side of the cell. It's like, so you're not really getting anywhere. So that's, we got to just watch that. Sometimes it works, and sometimes we got to notice when it doesn't work. And so it's like, okay, let's face it. Yeah. Deep breath in, coming back into that connection of the new earth, bringing ourselves down into that place. We've kind of opened the unraveling for a lot of things, so that's fine. Got a lot of heavy stuff, but let's kind of get into that connection to the earth. Kathleen, hello, Kathleen. Thank you. I'm so glad that was useful for you. It's just one of those things. It sounds logical that we should just reframe it. Sometimes yes, but there's going to be those occasions that we just have to watch for. In this case, we're talking about reframing. So, but so taking that to anything that we can do that's a positive, that logically seems like a positive, does not mean necessarily that it's positive. So for one thing, it depends on how you're doing it. If you're doing it to avoid something else, it's not going to be positive. It's going to have a negative impact on you. End of story. So we would all love just to have simple answers, right? And that's what a lot of this comes down to. It's like we've all been there. I've been there. Every one of us has been there. It's like, man, I just want to be able to do X, Y, Z and done. But if X, Y, Z is done because you're running away, you fear, you're avoiding whatever, I don't care how good those things are. It could be the best thing in existence to do. If you're doing it out of something like that, fear, avoidance, running away, it's going to be the worst thing. It's going to take you down to the bottom of the heap. It's going to keep you there. So then the question is, well, then what? What do I do? You got to face it. You got to you most likely are going to have to move through whatever it was that broke you in the first place, because you have to be able to step back into it and hold yourself. So this is the hard part. This is not the fun part. It's not that you do it right away, but at some point, when you are built up enough within yourself, when you have that coherence within yourself to be able to do that, you will do it. But not until then. Your spirit will take you through that. And you have to move through it. It's not easy. It's like Rocky going back for his fight. And you have to face your opponent. That's your opponent. And you just have to stand there until you are able to just stand, take the punches, you stand up, you still are standing, and nothing, no matter how many punches come at you, you're like, nope, you ain't taking me down this time. And you just say, hold, no, me, I'm here, I'm not budging, you can't take me down. You can't make me run away. You can't make me hold back anymore. Yeah. Let's take a deep breath into that. So that just helped. What I'm seeing is that just helped really anchor that sense of strength for everybody. And maybe you don't feel that strength. Maybe you don't have that strength for yourself now. That's okay. You have the notion inside of you. So that you have that internal reference. This is where I need to be, which is really important. Even if it's not right now, even if it's like 10 years from now, it doesn't matter. You've got that anchored in. So you know where you're heading. So Sydney, it may be that first you have to get out, and when you are far enough out, then you can move onward. Yeah. So another piece. Well, we're getting a lot of stuff is coming up for people. A lot of information. So this is going to be a bulky session. You might want to go back and listen to it because there's a lot of pieces here for you. So, the piece that just popped in to bring forward for people is that there are those times where we come back to an old situation. We find ourselves in an old situation again. And it's like, oh God, what am I doing here again? Why is this coming up again? Okay. That's usually not 100% all the time, but often it's what's happening is that you're going back. It's like your spirit is taking you back. It's like, okay, let's double check ourselves to see where the weak points are left that I have to strengthen so that I really move on from this. Yeah. So your spirit takes you back to that situation. And instead of going, oh shit, banging yourself, your head against the wall, like which maybe you might do that, but then step away from it. Like, no, why am I here? What am I doing here again? Why is this coming up again? Where are the weak points? Where are my weak points that are taking me back to this place again? See what comes up. See what it's showing you. Yeah, so Sydney, right? And work on those pieces. Then and then you move out again, and you start to move onward. And then when it gets to that point, it's like, okay, let's double check ourselves again. Boom, going back into that. I appreciate joining and listening in as I linked on. I heard you say the nucleus I was interested in. Good, very good, glad. Good. You followed the lead internally and came to where you needed. So I'm glad we could be here for you. So thanks for joining. And Sydney, going through that again with homelessness pattern, but it took me far less time to cover it. Exactly. Really good for you to notice that. So that's, I was bringing up that point early at the beginning. It's like, just see where you've been, where you are relative to where you were before. Yeah, very good. So sometimes it doesn't quite look like progress because we're kind of going through the same thing over again. But if you look like you just did, it's like, oh yeah, it used to take me like 5 years to recover. It used to take me a year, it used to take me months, weeks, whatever. And now it's like, okay, yeah, I had a few days, and yeah, okay, so I'm coming into my steadiness faster. Yeah, very good. Kathleen, yeah, it's a way of life. Yes, good for you. That's the way to go. I said instead of several hours, only a few days, several days, only a few hours. Yes, exactly. Very good. So progress all around for everybody. All right, let's take a nice deep breath into. New Earth, settling in. Yeah, a lot of good work for people. People work through a lot of good stuff here. Shifted through. Just being here. Just being present here. Yeah, very good. Settling in. Settling more deeply. Coming into greater coherence for yourselves. Everyone. Yes, repetitive experiencing sorts. Good. New Earth, yeah. And when you can notice for yourself that shifts, like what Sydney just said, it's like, well, instead of several days or several weeks, several months, it's like only a few hours. It's that starts to acknowledge that for yourself, because that starts to increase your faith and your trust in yourself. Grateful, thank you, sincerely appreciated. Yeah, appreciate you being here, because you're adding to the bunch too. You're adding to this piece in your own way. So that's for everybody here. I guide you. It comes, the information, the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding, the shifting comes through me. But you all, every single person here brings something to the table as well. Even if it's bringing up kind of like a flavor of what we're talking about, like the issue, it can come through one person. But since we're all together here in this space, then it's a way, there's a way that it applies to all of us. And for some people, it might be a direct application. For some other people, it's a little further back. A little further back, meaning that might not be so much your personal experience. Maybe it's somebody else in your family, or maybe it's somebody, one of your friends, or further back into the human collective, because we're all part of the human collective. Everything that's happened to every human being is a part of us. Everything that's happened to every woman for women is a part of being a woman. Everything that's happened to a man is part of the individual as a man. It's just maybe not as at the forefront of our beings, kind of thing, but it's still part of us. So whatever level you're helping to clear out for the collective, thank you for being here. Yeah. So come into your take a deep breath in, come into the awareness a little bit more deeply of your body. Come into your chest. Ha! There we go. Opening up, shifting out. A lot of good stuff for people here. A lot of stuff. That's good for people. That's what I mean by a lot of good stuff. It might not feel good, but it's shifting. Okay. And just keep focusing on yourself, coming into that deep connection to yourself, which is about deep love for yourself. Wow, this is a big piece today. Yeah. Stretching out those boundaries a little bit wider, a little bit further. Bringing in more freedom of being, freedom of movement, freedom of calm and stillness, yeah? Of being able to be there. Yeah, very nice. Coming into a new, different stillness. Let yourself feel that. Especially if you were having a hard time with stillness and quiet earlier, or if that was a potential issue for you, letting yourself sit in this one. Yeah, reset. Ha! Yeah. A new reset there. So good. Very nice, everybody. Very nice. Just felt this intense warmth and healing energy emanating from my chest. Just little bit more opening. Warmth, oftentimes that warmth, what that warmth is, tends to be, is that it's what I call an alchemical reaction, where the new is burning off the old. That's the brusa, and it will create heat. And so an opening in your chest, yeah, in that area for you. So that's good. Okay, very good, you guys. Very nice session. We will try again next week for Instagram. I think I know what might have happened this time that made it so it didn't click into Instagram. So we'll try it again next time. For those who care, just flashing on my little QR code for if you care to make a donation, participate that way. That's always appreciated. Not necessary, but appreciated. Let's see, I'm just going over. I think I've gotten all the comments, so yeah, good. Yeah, so thank you all for being here, and showing up. So next week, again, we will definitely be on YouTube. I will try to make it on back to Instagram, since I can do it from here. Then I know how. I think I know what the catch is. If not, if you go on Instagram, you don't find me there, you come here. So that's good. Really good, really, really good work, everybody, today. Heavy stuff, but really good work. So we're here every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Paris time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you figure out the rest for yourselves. And we'll see you next week. If you come next week, we'll see you we'll somewhere in the ethers. We will come across each other, I'm sure. And take care. Have a good rest of your week. And thanks again for being here. Take care, everybody.